Hi you guys, welcome to my F1 24 controller settings video that people have been requesting for, which I'll be showing you guys the settings. I'll show now, here we are, pause. Do all the settings, assists, I run everything off except racing line, because I'm just useless with a racing line off. So that's all there. I'm kind of a fraud with the old racing line on. Camera customizations, there's all the camera settings I have on. -10 on the field of view, 0 on the lateral, 16 on the horizontal, 2 on the vertical, -20 on the angle, the near clip plane of 20, and then the mirror angle on -1 because I feel like it's a bit too high is the work standard for the mirror angle. And then camera shake and camera movement, you gotta have all them off because it's just a disadvantage if you have them on. That's what it looks like without the HUD on it. I just prefer it quite a lot. I've changed it up from the previous game and I prefer this one on this game. I think it looks pretty nice and sleek because you can see quite a lot of the outside area, and also your car's zoomed in quite a lot so it feels more stable. On-screen display, this is what everything looks like. I've just more or less shrunk everything so I could see more of the circuit, because I prefer to see more of the circuit than all the other rubbish. And then I think it's changed it a little bit for the qualifying one, but this is the race one, and then my qualifying one is this one, which I don't know why it's not changed, but yeah, it works out for me. So it's just a rough idea if you wanted to use this kind of layout for your on-screen display. Then what else? The controller, the full-on controller settings, mine are really weird compared to most of the people's, but I've always used these and I'm quick most of the time, but I've been struggling on this game. But I've now managed to come to speed the more I've practiced. So I've gone generic settings. Now Logitech is for the wheels, so that doesn't matter. I've kept that on default. ERS is on toggle like it was before, and I don't hate it on hold. And then I've put the adaptive triggers on off because I don't like the adaptive triggers on the PS5 controller anyway, on any game. And this is probably the worst game to have it on, so I'd probably take them off all the time. And then my controller binds are the same as the was on last year's game. I've got L1 and R1 on gear up and gear down because I prefer it on them ones. I don't like using the X and square. And then all the rest are the same except DRS is on L3 because my thumb's already on the L stick anyway for turning, so it's quick and easy to get the DRS open. I'm not pit limiter on triangle, same as it was before. Radio has now moved to square. The rest I think is the same, and then overtake is on X, so I can get quick boost of the overtake off the line. Because if you look at the clutch, so with the clutch starting off from the race, if I've got the overtake on straight away as well, I'll be able to get a boost of speed compared to my competitors around me, and it's the first lap is the easiest place to overtake at, so may as well try and get more of an advantage off the start line and get easy overtakes so you can get a high position and probably win the race. Manual pit stops on X, same as it was, and then these are all the same. I haven't changed anything of these. And then for the shortcuts, I've not put anything on the shortcuts because I just don't like using the shortcut things. And then these are all unassigned as well. Actually, then calibration settings. I've got the steering rate at 145 because it's quite sensitive, but it's not as sensitive as what all the other control players have been using it. I just don't get it. I don't feel like you need to have it on 160, but it's probably better for newer players to have on 160 so you can have more turning, because there's I feel like for me there's quite a lot of understeer with my settings, so I can just counter it out with the setups that I've got that I use in time trial to make it so I've got more front wing than rear wing by a substantial margin. Dead zone I have it on 0 on all of them because my controller's fairly brand new and I don't need any dead zone. And then I put linearity for steering on 30 to make it more smoother with the steering, so it's like it's slower and more smoother, so it's not any of this pointy business what everyone has been complaining about on controller, because it feels perfectly fine on 30 linearity for me, and throttle linearity on 40, so I can be smooth on the throttle, so I don't have any as much of the back end loss as what I was on having on 0, and then braking linearity I have on 30, so I could be smooth on the brakes. Linearity is probably the best setting to helping people out to be smoother on all the inputs. So the linearity is probably the only setting you really actually need on compared to all the rest, in my opinion. But it's how you play the game. You might need a bit of saturation, obviously. If you've got some stick drift and stuff like that, you probably want to up your saturation on your steering. And then same with if you can't hit 100%, if you're going on full throttle and you're hitting it to about it's only going to 90, you probably want to add a bit of saturation on, so probably only to about 10 to 15, and then obviously it'll be easier to get to 100%, but I don't need to at this moment in time, so I have no saturation. That's only if your controller is busted. Same with the braking. If you can't get to 100% and you're only getting to about 80%, 90%, you probably want to just only add it up to about 10. You probably don't want saturation any higher than 15 on all of the things, because there you go, it's just easier to get to 100% with 15% saturation. You don't need any higher than that, even if your controller is a bit worn out. So yeah, that's all the settings that I use for the calibration. And then vibration and force feedback. I feel like there's quite a lot of vibrations on the PS5 controller for the last couple of games I've been using it, so I've not run that much vibration, so I've got 75 on just the main vibration, force feedback, strength, and then 0 on everything else except for the rumble strip, which is on 1, because the rumble strip effect is, I think, one of the strongest effects it is on the old vibration settings. So 1, it's still actually you can still feel it quite a decent amount on 1, which is ridiculous. So any higher than 1, in my opinion, for me anyway, my controller would just be vibrating out of my hand over the curbs, which I don't want that to happen, so 1 is enough. And then 20 on the wheel damper, so I can have more feedback of when the tyres are starting to slide and then give up, going through prolonged corners. And then the wheel rotation, I've upped it from the standard 360 to 420, because I feel like the front end for me is already well, the front end forever is more pointy as it is, but So you don't really, for me it's more pointy, so I don't really need it like what everyone else has it on 500. Because people are going all the way up to like here, which I think is ridiculous, because then you'd be just spinning out constantly. And so, which is what everyone's been complaining about, but I just don't get why people do it, so I have it on 420 because it's, I can get the front end turned in quite nicely, and also the rear end doesn't really over rotate constantly, so I can have a good balance between the front end and the rear end. So it feels smoother, and it's so much better for me for race trim. Maybe in the qualifying you might lack a small bit of pace, but in the races you'll be probably paying dividends with it, with having better tyre wear, because you're not sliding around, because your front end's not going too sharp into the corner where your rear end backs out and slides out, and getting rear tyre wear, and then you're going to have to do more stops, which is going to probably make you lose the races if you're in league races, or just even in career mode. It'll mess you up there. So I think that might be everything. They're all unassigned. I have shown that. Graphics settings, I have it 105, so it's a slightly bit brighter than the usual. And then motion blur I have 0, even though I don't even think it does anything anyway. I think it's a broken setting, but I just put on 0 just why not. And then I have stereo animation on, that's already all auto. I have graphics on quality, so I have 120 FPS, because I think this game actually does 120 FPS with the old quality. If you put it on performance, I think you get 60. And then this is off, it was automatically off, it was already off anyway. And then here's the audio settings I have on. It's all just preference with these ones anyway. But this is what I have on. I don't like the master volume all the way up to the max, so I have on 7, because it's just too loud in my opinion if you have it on 10. Then all these sounds will get muffled into one, and it's sometimes distracting. Yeah, and then the rest is on. I have radio veracity on responses only, so Mark doesn't just come randomly on the radio 24/7 and say some random stuff. He only comes on when I ask him to ask stuff like driver in front, driver behind, and box this lap, etc. So he doesn't waffle just random shit. And then that should be everything. I have this off. I don't like the old mono mix thing where it flicks between left or right here. That settings rare for someone who suffers with tinnitus, which I don't, so it's all good. I have that off. Colorblind mode, I have the racing line colorblind mode off. Obviously you can just change it to different colours. And then engineer ducking I also have off, so I can actually still hear the engine audio and all the cars around me, instead of just hearing the engine in, because you can flick it between heavy, light and off. If you have it on heavy, you could literally hear nothing except the engineer, but then light, it's a mix between both. And then off, you can obviously still hear the sounds around you with cars driving around, and then you also driving around, so if you hear if your tyres are screeching, etc. And then adapt triggers I also have off, because like I said earlier, I just don't like the adaptive triggers on any game I play, to be honest. So flicking between there, I just prefer it off. I think that will be it. I think that's everything. Well, enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Hopefully the settings will help you out. Like I said, it's all up to preference anyway. You might not prefer these settings, but it's a rough baseline what you could use to help you improve your times. So if you enjoyed the video, you can like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Thank you.